Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now we got the Money in the Bank review, and what a pay-per-view it was. It was a really good pay-per-view, just a bad ending. But the wrestling in this pay-per-view was top-notch. So let's start with the women's ladder match. 7 competitors. I'm not going to name them all because I probably forgot like 4 of them anyways. But this match was better than last year's. Now, last year's was obviously terrible. Let's not get started on that. But this year's match, there was some sloppy moments, some botches, but they were trying really hard, the women, and it was a good match, good way to start the pay-per-view, good choice on putting that match first, and a shocking winner. Liv Morgan won the Money in the Bank. Now, a lot of people thought Becky Lynch because of the storyline they were doing on Raw. A lot of people thought Alexa, fan favorite. But Liv Morgan won. And I'm all for it. You guys know me. I'm a huge Liv Morgan fan. I've made several videos of her in the past saying why she deserved it. Her time has come. And WWE just built themselves a new babyface main eventer in Liv Morgan. I'm beyond words. Obviously, she won the title. I'm going to get that into later. But wow. What a way to start the pay-per-view. Now, last year, everyone thought Liv Morgan was going to win the Money in the Bank because they built a storyline around her getting into the, Money in the Bank. And usually, if someone builds a story around you going into the Money in the Bank, chances are you're going to win Money in the Bank. But obviously, it's WWE at the end of the day. But hey, we're here this year, and she won it. Good match, had some sloppy moments, but they used a ladder a lot. Like the ladder... There was a lot of ladder spots in this match is what I'm trying to say. So, good way to start the pay-per-view. Then we got the United States Championship match, Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory. It was a pretty solid match, back and forth between the two. Bobby Lashley is a fan favorite. He was getting a huge pop throughout the whole match, chanting his name, booing Theory, Theory suck chants. And Bobby Lashley is your new champion. I don't really know how to recap this kind of match. It was a pretty solid match. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Bobby Lashley is the new United States champion, and I cannot wait for this run. And then we got Carmella versus Bianca Belair for the title. It was an okay match, You're not going to expect, the most out of Carmella, It's not a match you're looking forward to. Obviously, it was supposed to be Rhea Ripley versus Bianca, but Rhea Ripley's out. But you know what? Save it for SummerSlam. It's a bigger match, in my opinion. Rhea Ripley could really win the title and help build, the Judgment Day. Because ever since, Edge left or they turned on him, I mean, what's happened to the group? What's going on with Judgment Day? So I think Rhea winning the title at SummerSlam could really help the group in general. But, Bianca retaining, obviously, it was obvious she was going to retain. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. After the match, we got Carmella attacking Bianca Belair from behind, and I thought this is where Liv Morgan was going to cash in her Money in the Bank, but it didn't happen. Anyways, let's move on to the tag team unification match, the Usos versus the Street Profits, and it was one of these matches, the slow start that progressively gets more and more intense, and it ramps up, picks up. It was one of these matches, a really good wrestling match. In my opinion, might be match of the night. Who knows? But obviously the Usos won. I thought the Street Profits were going to win. I thought they were, but the Usos win. They continue their title reign, and I think they're just about under a year. They're going to surpass a year from holding the tag team champions, and that's all I got to say about that. Then we got the bathroom break match. Ronda Rousey versus Natalya. I think it was a submission match. I don't even watch SmackDown. I only watched one SmackDown. I'll never watch it again because of what happened. But anyways, I think it was a submission match. There wasn't one pinfall, so that's my guess. This match was terrible. It wasn't even bad. It's just that I don't care. That's the thing. Anyways, that doesn't matter. It's what mattered at the end. So during the match, I think Ronda Rousey tweaked her leg. Obviously part of the story. Obviously. And then after the match, we had Liv Morgan's music hit. She runs out, cashes in her Money in the Bank, and then out of nowhere, Ronda Rousey counters her move, puts her in a submission, and I'm like, oh God, Liv Morgan is gonna lose. She's gonna lose and become the first woman to cash in unsuccessfully, because Corey Graves did mention that before the match. So I'm like, whoever wins this is probably gonna lose. But anyways, and then Liv Morgan counters the submission, rolls her up, 1, 2, 3, wins the champion. And I was marking out. You guys know me. I'm a huge Liv Morgan fan. So happy for her. And there's a lot of challengers on SmackDown she could challenge. Obviously, Ronda Rousey, Raquel Rogel, whatever the fuck her name is, Lacey Evans, Shotzi, Xia Li, returning Bailey. There's a lot of people. I'm looking forward to this title reign. And hell yeah to Liv Morgan for the champion. And let's get to the main event. And then the main event was the men's ladder match. And before the match started, all the participants were out. Adam Pearce comes out and says, I got a surprise for you guys. We got an 8th competitor in the match. And in my head, I'm like, Cody Rhodes? And I was low-key marking. I'm like, no way Cody Rhodes is coming back. Because, before, obviously, he had to get his surgery, he came out on Raw, and he hinted at coming at Money in the Bank. I'm like, there's no way it's Cody Rhodes. Obviously, it wasn't. It was Austin Theory as the 8th person. And during the match, there was 3 really good spots. Riddle Broton off the ladder, almost got put through the table by 6 of the competitors. He went flying. And then the RKO off the ladder to Seth Rollins. Those 3 spots were, the spots that stood out to me in the match. And obviously, Austin Theory won. And it got a boo. Like, the crowd did not like it. I didn't like the outcome. I thought Seth Rollins was going to win. I thought it was pretty clear. But, the thing is, with Austin Theory winning, I don't see him becoming a champion. Do you see him successfully cashing it in? At the end of the day, Vince McMahon is really high on Austin Theory. And yes, Vince McMahon did step down as CEO, but he is still, what do you call it? He's still in charge of booking. So he didn't step down from that. So, as long as Vince is still in control of writing the WWE. But the thing is, I just don't see Austin Theory winning the title, especially off of Roman Reigns. That's not going to happen. So, I don't know what WWE has in store for Austin Theory. It's like the Roman Reigns treatment all over again. But, yeah. It's just a really bad way to end a pay-per-view. If they had Liv Morgan winning, if they left it like that, I would have been fine, to be honest. And, the main event was a good match, 3 really good spots, but tough way to end the pay-per-view. But in my opinion, still a really good pay-per-view. I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. And tell me what your guys' score is other than that. Peace.